For the first time in decades, casino CEOs are watching something they never thought possible. Tourists are walking away. Not just complaining, not just spending less, walking away completely. We're exposing the reasons Vegas executives are panicking as tourists finally wake up to the truth. And by the time you see what's really happening at number one, you'll understand why even the most powerful CEOs know it's already too late to stop it. Number 10. The self-check-in meltdown. Remember when arriving at a Vegas hotel felt like stepping into another world? A smiling concierge knew your name. Bell staff whisked away your bags, and someone actually cared that you chose their property. That Vegas is dead. Today you're greeted by a sea of confused tourists crowding around glitching kiosks, desperately jabbing at frozen screens while their kids cry, and their luggage topples over. The numbers tell the story executives don't want you to hear. MGM Resorts cut front desk staff by 40% across their properties since 2021. Caesars followed suit, replacing human check-in agents with what they proudly call innovative self-service technology. But here's what really happens at 11 p.m. on a Friday when 200 exhausted travelers arrive simultaneously. Those innovative kiosks crash. The single overwhelmed employee manning 10 machines can't help everyone. And suddenly, your Vegas vacation starts with a 90-minute wait just to get your room key. One viral TikTok from last month showed the scene at Luxor. Families sleeping on their suitcases while waiting for working kiosks. The video's caption, "Welcome to Vegas, where you pay $300 a night to check yourself in like you're at a highway motel." It racked up 2.3 million views and thousands of comments from people sharing their horror stories. The Venetian recently admitted their self-service adoption led to a 31% increase in check-in complaints. Think about that. They knew it was making guests miserable, but the labor savings were too tempting to resist. Even worse, these kiosks can't solve real problems. Room not ready? Kiosk can't help? Need an upgrade? Good luck finding a human. Want to store luggage? The bellman position was eliminated 2 years ago. For older travelers and international visitors, it's particularly devastating. They came expecting Vegas hospitality, not airport-style automation. The message is clear. You're not a valued guest anymore. You're a transaction to process as cheaply as possible. And tourists are starting to realize that if Vegas treats them like cargo at check-in, what else are they cutting behind the scenes? Number 9. The entertainment overload. Vegas entertainment used to be democratic. Sure, you could splurge on Sinatra, but you could also catch an incredible lounge act for the price of a cocktail. Today, the Strip has become a playground exclusively for tech bros and trust fund kids willing to drop $800 on nosebleed seats to see Adele. The transformation is staggering. In 2015, the average show ticket cost $95. Today, that same ticket runs $285. But here's the catch. That's not for premium entertainment. That's the baseline. Want to see Bruno Mars? Starting price? $450. Lady Gaga? $600 minimum. Those viral U2 residency tickets at the Sphere? Fans reported spending $1,500 per seat after fees. What killed the magic wasn't just price. It's that every casino now chases the exact same formula. Gone are the quirky magicians, the afternoon comedy shows, the unique acts that gave each property personality. Instead, we get identical celebrity residencies, marketed through identical corporate channels. Wynn has a pop star. MGM has a pop star. Caesars has a pop star. The Strip has become one giant, expensive concert venue where spontaneity went to die. The middle-class family that saved all year for their Vegas trip, they're priced out entirely. A family of 4 looking at show tickets faces a $100 bill before they've even eaten dinner. So they skip the shows altogether, and suddenly, the entertainment capital of the world offers them nothing but watching other people walk to expensive concerts they can't afford. Even locals are abandoning ship. A recent survey found that 78% of Las Vegas residents haven't seen a Strip show in over 2 years. When people who live there can't justify the cost, how can tourists? The intimacy is gone too. Where small theaters once created magical moments, now everything happens in 5,000-seat arenas, where you watch the performance on massive screens because your actual view is blocked by someone's phone. The corporate sanitization shows in every detail. Dynamic pricing, means tickets cost more on weekends. Service fees hit 30% of base price. VIP packages that once meant meeting performers now just mean shorter bathroom lines for $200 extra. But here's what should really worry those CEOs. Younger tourists aren't impressed. They grew up with YouTube and TikTok. They can watch any performer they want anytime for free. When Vegas entertainment feels more corporate than special, more expensive than exclusive, they're choosing to spend their money elsewhere. And once that generation writes off Vegas entertainment as an overpriced scam, they're never coming back. Number 8. The service collapse. Walk into any strip restaurant at 7 p.m. and witness the disaster unfolding in real time. One server managing 12 tables, food sitting under heat lamps for 20 minutes because there's nobody to run it. Managers hiding in back offices, while customers wave desperately for water refills that never come. This isn't bad luck. This is what happens when casinos decided that skeleton crews could deliver luxury service. The staffing numbers are shocking. Bellagio's restaurant division operates with 35% fewer employees than in 2019. Park MGM cut their food service staff by 42%. But prices? Those went the opposite direction. That basic breakfast that cost $18 4 years ago now runs $50 at Wynn. A burger and fries at Guy Fieri's hits $35. Even the food court at Caesars Forum charges $28 for pad thai that arrives cold because the kitchen has 3 cooks handling 60 orders. Reddit's Vegas forum exploded last month when someone posted their receipt from Mon Ami Gabby. $400 for brunch for 2 people. The comments section became a support group for tourists sharing their service nightmares. One visitor waited 2 hours for Eggs Benedict at Aria. Another gave up after 90 minutes at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen without ever receiving their appetizers. The common thread? Servers literally running between tables, apologizing constantly, some nearly in tears from the overwhelming workload. But here's what makes CEOs sweat. Burnt-out employees don't hide their frustration anymore. They're telling guests the truth. We're understaffed because they won't hire. One Venetian server was caught on video explaining to angry customers, "They'd rather have you mad at me than pay for proper service." That video? 4.8 million views and climbing. The tipping point came when business travelers started expensing meals elsewhere, when conventions book restaurants off-strip, when high rollers order room service instead of dining downstairs. Wolfgang Puck himself admitted his Vegas locations are struggling to maintain quality with current staffing levels. When celebrity chefs can't deliver their own standards, the collapse is complete. Tourists came for an experience. Now they're getting airport-quality food at 5-star prices, served by employees who look ready to quit mid-shift. Word spreads fast in the age of Yelp and TripAdvisor. But terrible service is just the symptom. The disease runs deeper, because while tourists suffer through skeleton crews and cold food, casino executives are quietly redesigning their entire business model around a different type of customer entirely, one that doesn't include you. Number 7. The high roller illusion. The Cosmopolitan's new tagline should be, "If you have to ask, you can't afford it," because that's exactly what the Strip has become. A playground designed exclusively for whales, influencers, and people who think $500 bar tabs are casual Tuesday spending. Meanwhile, the middle-class families who built Vegas, who filled those rooms for decades, they're standing outside velvet ropes, watching a party they're no longer invited to. Here's how blatant the discrimination has become. Caesars just redesigned their rewards program. The bottom 3 tiers, where 85% of visitors sit, saw their benefits slashed by 60%, but the top tier? They got private jets and yacht access added. MGM's new Moments program doesn't even pretend to care about regular players. Unless you're dropping $10,000 per trip, you might as well not exist. Walk through any casino floor today and count the $5 tables. 0. The $10 tables? Maybe 1, hidden in a corner with rules so bad you'd lose money if the dealer helped you cheat. But $100 minimum baccarat, 12 tables, front and center, with personal hosts hovering nearby. The message couldn't be clearer. Middle-class money isn't wanted here. The redesigns tell the same story. Bellagio removed 600 slot machines to make room for a high-limit salon. Aria converted their poker room into invitation-only gaming. Even Luxor, once the budget-friendly pyramid, installed a velvet-roped VIP entrance while their regular check-in kiosks malfunction daily. Social media influencers get comped penthouses for posting poolside selfies. Crypto millionaires receive red carpet treatment for one weekend of reckless spending. But the Phoenix plumber who's been visiting twice a year for 20 years, he gets nothing. His loyalty means nothing. His $500 per day means nothing when Chinese high rollers drop that much on a single hand. The psychological impact is devastating. Families save for months, arrive excited, then spend their entire vacation feeling poor. They watch Instagram models get whisked past restaurant lines they've been standing in for an hour. They see empty VIP sections while they're crammed into overcrowded general areas. They realize Vegas hasn't just raised prices. It's told them they're not the target audience anymore. Number 6. Locals' loyalty lost. When Las Vegas residents, people who've defended this city through mob scandals and recessions, start driving 2 hours to Laughlin for their weekend gambling, you know something's fundamentally broken. These aren't tourists making knee-jerk reactions. These are people who understand the industry, who've worked in these casinos, and they're voting with their feet. The local exodus is measurable. Laughlin's weekend traffic from Vegas residents jumped 47% in the last 18 months. Mesquite casino revenues from Clark County locals rose 31%. Even Arizona casinos report massive increases in Nevada license plates. Station casinos, which traditionally served locals, has seen a 28% drop in local player club activity, while their parking lots sit half empty on Friday nights. Talk to any bartender, dealer, or valet who's lived here over 10 years, and you'll hear the same thing. I don't go to the Strip anymore unless family visits. These are people who get industry discounts, who know every insider deal, and even they can't justify current prices. When casino employees won't spend money at casinos, the business model is failing. The breaking point came when properties started eliminating local-friendly amenities. Boyd Gaming killed their local buffet discounts. Stations casinos raised their players' club requirements by 300%. Even downtown, the last refugee for locals saw Golden Nugget and the D-shift focus entirely to tourists. Longtime residents describe feeling like strangers in their own city. One viral Facebook post from a 40-year resident captured the mood perfectly. Vegas used to be our secret. We'd show friends the real spots, defend the Strip when outsiders talked trash. Now, I tell people to visit San Diego instead. That post generated 8,000 shares from locals adding their own betrayal stories. The ripple effect is devastating. Locals were the Strip's best ambassadors, bringing visiting friends, recommending hidden gems, creating the word of mouth that no marketing budget could buy. Now they actively warn people away. They share horror stories about $30 parking, $18 beers, and restaurants that treat them like second-class citizens in their own city. When the home team turns against you, the game's already over. Number 5. The decline of comp culture. The genius of Old Vegas was simple. Make players feel special, and they'll lose money with a smile. Free rooms, free meals, free shows. Even small-time gamblers walked away feeling like VIPs despite empty wallets. That psychological magic? Dead. Murdered by algorithms and corporate greed that squeezed out every drop of generosity until nothing remained but resentment. Today's comp system is insulting. Play $1,000 on slots and maybe you'll earn enough points for a discounted buffet. Not free, discounted. The same buffet that used to be completely free for anyone playing $100. Blackjack players report needing to bet $50 per hand for 4 hours just to earn what they call resort credit, which doesn't even cover those mandatory resort fees. The numbers are brutal. In 2010, the average Vegas visitor received $150 in comps per trip. Today, 23s, that's not adjusted for inflation. That's actual dollars. Meanwhile, those same visitors are spending 40% more on gambling. They're literally paying more to receive less. And the casinos wonder why nobody's smiling anymore. Caesars Rewards just revealed their hand with recent changes. Food comp values slashed by 50%. Room comp blackout dates expanded to basically every weekend. Point expiration accelerated from 18 months to 6 months. They're actively punishing loyalty while pretending it's an enhancement. MGM followed suit, requiring 50% more play for the same tier status. while removing complimentary parking for all but their highest level. The psychological wound cuts deep. Players used to brag about their Vegas comps. It was social currency, proof you were a savvy gambler who worked the system. Now, people hide their players' cards in embarrassment. They know they're being tracked, analyzed, and squeezed for maximum profit while receiving nothing in return. Veterans describe the old days when pit bosses had discretion. Losing streak? Here's a meal voucher to soften the blow. Big winner? Congratulations! Your room's on us tonight. That human touch created emotional bonds worth millions in lifetime value. Now everything's algorithmic. The computer says you don't qualify. Conversation over. But here's what terrifies executives. Younger gamblers never experience generous Vegas. They have no nostalgic attachment, no reason to tolerate stinginess. They're flocking to cruise ship casinos, Native American properties, and online gambling where bonuses flow freely. But here's what should have CEOs calling emergency meetings at midnight. While they're squeezing every penny from loyal customers, a new enemy just entered the battlefield. Number 4. TikTok travel alternatives. Open TikTok right now and search Vegas alternatives and watch what happens. Hundreds of videos with millions of views showing young travelers having the time of their lives in Reno, Austin, Nashville, and even Biloxi. The kicker? They're doing everything Vegas promises for a third of the price. And their comment sections are packed with former Vegas loyalists saying never going back to the Strip again. The numbers are devastating for Vegas. Reno tourism jumped 34% among travelers under 35 in the past year. Austin's 6th Street District reports a 40% increase in bachelor and bachelorette parties that used to book Vegas. Nashville's Broadway Strip added 12 new venues specifically targeting the party crowd Vegas is losing. These aren't competitors anymore. They're replacements. Here's what makes social media so deadly for Vegas. Authenticity wins. A viral TikTok last month showed a group spending $2,000 for a weekend in Vegas versus $600 in Reno. Same group, same energy, arguably more fun in Reno. The Vegas portion showed $25 cocktails, rude staff, and $50 Uber rides. The Reno segment, free drinks while gambling, friendly locals, and walking distance everywhere. That video hit 5.4 million views, with comments like, "Vegas is for suckers now," getting thousands of likes. Travel influencers who built careers promoting Vegas are publicly breaking up with the city. One creator with 800,000 followers posted "Why I'm done with Vegas" and outlined her shift to promoting Austin instead. She showed side-by-side comparisons. Vegas pool party at $200 per person versus Austin River floating at $30. Vegas nightclub with $500 minimums versus Nashville honky-tonks with no cover. The engagement was overwhelming, with followers sharing their own horror stories and alternative destinations. Even cruise lines are stealing Vegas's thunder. Young travelers realize a 7-day cruise with unlimited food, entertainment, and casino action costs less than 3 nights on the Strip. One Twitter thread comparing Carnival cruise casinos to Vegas went viral with the brutal tagline, "At least on a ship, when they rob you blind, you get to see the ocean." The algorithm has spoken. When people search for party destinations, Vegas doesn't even crack the top 5 anymore. The next generation of travelers is being programmed to see Vegas as the expensive, outdated option their parents overpaid for. Yet Vegas kept doubling down, betting everything on massive events that would supposedly flood the city with wealthy visitors. What happened instead became the most expensive mistake in Strip history. Number 3. The mega event backlash. Formula One was supposed to showcase Vegas to the world. Instead, it became a masterclass in how to destroy your reputation in one weekend. Room rates hit $3,000 minimum. Locals were barricaded from their own streets. Construction destroyed businesses for months, and the race itself, hidden behind $500 general admission tickets where you couldn't even see the track. The world watched Vegas reveal its ugliest truth. Extracting maximum profit matters more than anyone's experience. The Super Bowl made F1 look subtle. Properties implemented 5-night minimums at $500 per night. Restaurants created special big game menus with 300% markups. Uber surge pricing hit 10x normal rates. First-time visitors who'd saved for years to experience Vegas during the Super Bowl left broke, bitter, and spreading warnings across every social platform. One Reddit post titled "Vegas Super Bowl Ruined My Marriage" detailed a couple's $15,000 nightmare weekend and got 45,000 upvotes. But here's what CEOs missed. These weren't just expensive weekends, they were betrayals. Families who dreamed of visiting during these iconic events discovered Vegas didn't want them there. It wanted their credit cards. The human cost is staggering. Small businesses near F1 construction reported 60% revenue drops. Employees couldn't get to work because of road closures. Medical workers shared stories of ambulances stuck in traffic, while casinos celebrated record profits. The international embarrassment was immediate. European F1 fans, accustomed to accessible races, flooded social media with shock at Vegas pricing. "Monaco is cheaper than this," became a running joke. Sports journalists who'd covered Super Bowls for decades called Vegas the worst host city they'd experienced. The New York Times ran a piece titled "How Vegas Killed Its Golden Goose" that went viral globally. Local news revealed the truth. Despite record rates, hotel occupancy during F1 was only 78%. Properties kept rooms empty rather than lower prices. The Super Bowl saw similar patterns. Casinos bet everything on whale visitors and lost. The middle-class crowds that generate steady profits stayed home, and the billionaires everyone courted spent their money in private suites. Not on casino floors. Now UFC events, NASCAR races, and major conferences are reconsidering Vegas. The city that once guaranteed successful events has become synonymous with price gouging and logistical nightmares. But beneath all this corporate greed and failed mega events, something unexpected is happening. Something so powerful that casino executives literally tried to ban employees from discussing it on social media. Number 2. The nostalgia factor. Something profound is happening in Vegas Facebook groups and Reddit forums. People aren't sharing photos from recent trips. They're posting pictures from the 90s and early 2000s, when their biggest worry was choosing between the $4.99 shrimp cocktail at Golden Gate or the $7.77 steak special at Ellis Island. The comment sections become therapy sessions for people mourning a city that no longer exists. The nostalgia isn't just about prices, it's about feeling welcome. Old Vegas had a beautiful democracy to it. Construction workers rubbed shoulders with CEOs at the same craps table. Dealers knew regulars by name and asked about their kids. Cocktail waitresses had worked the same stations for decades and remembered your drink. That warmth created billion-dollar loyalty. Now, dealers are told not to engage in conversation. It slows the game. Veterans describe Old Vegas like a lost love. The Stardust $20 poker tournaments where locals taught tourists the game. The Sahara's Lounge where you could watch tomorrow's headliners perform for free. Binion's Horseshoe, where the owner would personally shake hands with $100 players. These weren't just amenities. They were the soul of Vegas, and their ghosts haunt every corporate replacement. The evidence is everywhere. Vintage Vegas merchandise outsells current resort brands 3-1. The Mob Museum and Neon Museum draw bigger crowds than most strip attractions. Golden Nugget's throwback gaming area with coin-operated slots generates lines of people desperate to pull actual handles instead of pushing buttons. They're not just gambling, they're trying to time travel. Social media accelerates the yearning. TikTokers with millions of views explore abandoned old Vegas locations. YouTube channels dedicated to vintage Vegas stories get more engagement than official casino marketing. The comment sections tell the same story repeatedly. "My dad took us every summer in the 90s. We could afford it then. Miss when Vegas was for everyone. They killed everything that made it special." Here's what should terrify every casino executive. Nostalgia is unbeatable competition. You can't market against memories. You can't algorithm your way past emotion. When people prefer their memories of your product to your actual current product, you've already lost. They're not customers anymore. They're mourners at a funeral that never ends. Number 1, the awakening. The moment arrived differently for everyone, but the realization was identical. Standing in a casino, looking at a $50 minimum blackjack table, waiting in a 40-minute line for overpriced coffee, watching staff ignore them while fawning over influencers, and suddenly thinking, "Why am I here?" That's the awakening. The moment tourists realized Vegas isn't selling dreams anymore, it's manufacturing disappointment at premium prices. The data confirms what everyone feels. Vegas visitation dropped for 3 consecutive quarters, the first time since 2008. More damning, visitor spending per trip decreased despite higher prices. People aren't just visiting less, they're actively spending less when they come. The ultimate vote of no confidence. Convention bookings for 2025 are down 22%. International tourism hasn't recovered to 60% of pre-2020 levels. The warning signs are screaming. But here's what makes this awakening irreversible. It's collective. When individuals had bad experiences, Vegas could dismiss them as outliers. Now, entire friend groups are canceling annual trips. Company conferences are moving to Orlando and San Diego. Bachelor parties book Nashville. Family reunions choose cruises. The word of mouth that built Vegas over decades is now destroying it at internet speed. Travel forums tell the story in real time. TripAdvisor reviews for major Strip properties average 3.2 stars, down from 4.1 stars 5 years ago. The complaints are identical: overpriced, understaffed, unwelcoming, corporate, soulless. One review that went viral simply said, "Vegas used to make you feel like James Bond. Now it makes you feel like an ATM." Younger travelers are especially ruthless. They have no nostalgic buffer, no memories of better times to soften current disappointments. They compare Vegas directly to alternatives and find it wanting. They'd rather spend money on experiences than exploitation. They value authenticity over artificial glamour, and they're teaching their algorithms to recommend anywhere but Vegas. The awakening spreads through concrete actions: canceled trips, unfollowed social accounts, travel blogs titled "Skip Vegas, visit these places instead," airlines reporting decreased bookings to McCarran, rental car companies slashing Vegas inventory. Each decision is a small vote, but together they're an avalanche. Casino CEOs keep promising improvements, announcing new properties, hiring celebrity chefs, but they're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, because once someone awakens to the reality that Vegas is extracting from them, rather than entertaining them, that innocence never returns. The magic was always an illusion, but now everyone can see the wires.